This is Kugan Cassius here for iPhone London. Something new we're trying. Our first guest on this brand new programme, which is live obviously, is all the way from Liverpool, Tony Bellew. Alright, Tony?
What's going down, guys?
You alright? Is it snowing in Liverpool, Tony?
The snow has finally left us, thank God, but the cold weather has not, so it's still 2 degrees. I'm sitting here in a tracksuit with me pants rolled into my socks, just chilling out really, mate, just enjoying a relaxing time because I've done another hard day in camp, so I've just got to relax as well.
Now, obviously, there's been, you've been in the news just recently in the last few days because of Chad Dawson's situation with his title. What can you tell us about that? Obviously, there's strong rumours of Pascal and Bute possibly signing a deal to fight, which will, how does that leave you, Tony?
Well, I've heard the rumours, and I'm told by various sources that the deal with Bute and Pascal is virtually done. So, you can't really knock the guy. At the end of the day, he was challenging Dawson for the world title and was going to get half the amount of money that he'd get to fight Bute without a world title. So, you can't really blame Pascal. It's a huge mega fight in Canada. The only person who it leaves out there a little bit and who's missing the payday is Dawson. But, Dawson's still the champion and like I say, I'll be his mandatory challenger soon enough. And hopefully, fingers crossed, that puts me in a good position. But first and foremost, I've got to come to March the 30th, and I can't look any further than Isaac Chilemba.
No, obviously not. You're never one to look past the fight, and like I said, but Isaac Chilemba. What can you tell us about him? What do you know about him differently to when the fight was first announced? What sort of test is it going to be? Is this going to be by far your hardest test?
Oh, I think it is. The guy ticks so many boxes. It's not like I'm fighting a guy with super fast hands or who's got one punch knockout power and nothing else, or who's bigger than me or shorter than me. I'm fighting a guy who ticks a lot of the boxes that I tick. He's a good boxer. He's got good speed, good movements. He's got a good defense. He's a good all-round fighter. He does everything quite well. So, this is a big test for me, and I've just got to make sure I'm fully prepared. If there was a possibility I could have met him at Commonwealth level, believe it or not. And I wanted the fight at the time. And people didn't want it for me at that time. They must have thought he was too much of a risk or whatever it was. But, now it looks like it's finally going to happen. So I'm looking forward to it. And it's a big test, but it's one I firmly believe I can pass.
So obviously you're deep into training camp at the moment, and as you told me earlier on, you're off to New York next week. So are you going to Gleason's to train there?
Yeah, I go to various places, various gyms. That's one of them that I go to. It's good to come out of your comfort zone and then go somewhere else and get the work done. So I'm looking forward to getting out there and seeing what it's all about once again. I've been there once before. It's good to work with different guys. It's good to see different things. And like I say, getting taken out of your comfort zone is the most important thing for me.
So, obviously, it's hard not to just think forward. I know you won't do it, but people like your fans and that will be looking, to this, a mega fight potentially with Dawson in America. Thousands of your Liverpool Scouse army going out there. So, this is all to come this year, obviously.
Yeah, like I say, it's very tough not to think about things like that, but like I say, I've got the toughest test in my career in front of me at March the 30th, and I'm fully prepared and fully focused on Isaac Chilemba because, if you take your eyes off the prize, you've seen what can happen with other fighters. They can either get knocked out or they lose controversial decisions, or because they took their eye off the prize and they were looking at the next fight ahead. So I've got to fully focus on the fight in front of me. The show's done really well too, so, everybody's happy. I'm just looking forward to a good night, and then, once we get March the 30th out the way, then we can sit down and start talking about the likes of, your Dawsons, your Pascals, your Hopkinses, your Clouds, because they're all there. Once I go in with Dawson, or once I go in with a big name, Chilemba's a big name for me, but on a world scene, is he a big name? I don't really think so, because I think Miranda's more known than Chilemba, but this is the door that's going to open for me by beating Chilemba, so you know you get past him, and it opens up a lot of doors. And as I say, opening the door that gets me closer to Dawson is the most important thing for me. For me, Dawson is the best light heavyweight in the world, and all as I want to do is face the premier guy in my weight division in the world.
This weekend, obviously, there's a prize fight at your call, but also in your home place in Liverpool, David Price against Tony Thompson. Would you say that this is David's? It's hard to say really, because obviously every test David has is sort of being touted as his toughest test. But is Tony Thompson going to sort of prove to be, you know, a little bit more tricky than trying to get him out in the first opening rounds like he has been with the rest of the heavyweights?
Yeah, he brings something that David hasn't faced so far yet. He's been in with world class fighters. He's a dangerous. He's on the edges of world title himself. So you know he's there or thereabouts. He's recognised in every organisation as a top 10 heavyweight without doubt. You know he's one of the best American heavyweights, if not the best American heavyweight on the planet. You know he poses different threats to Price. He's big in stature and size. You know he's a southpaw. He can punch a little bit. But you know I keep saying this, and I've said it over and over again. For me, David Price is the heir to the Klitschko throne, and I feel he'll just deal with Tony Thompson whichever way he feels like. He could make. So he could go in there and make a fight of it. He could go in there and get up close and dirty and knock him out in say 2 or 3 rounds, or he could box him at range, break him up slowly, and do it like a Klitschko does. It all depends which mood David's in, I think. And if David's in a vicious and spiteful mood, it's over within 3 rounds. If he chooses to box and take his time, similar to a Klitschko style, I see it being about 7 or 8.
And also this week announced David's future rival Tyson Fury will take on Steve Cunningham in New York in March. What do you think about that fight?
It's not a bad fight. I mean, for all the talk of what he's saying and what he's doing, I was surprised he's fighting a cruiserweight, because, you know, all I've ever heard is I'm the best heavyweight in the world, including the Klitschkos, and I'll smash this heavyweight, I'll smash that heavyweight, and then the next thing is he's lined up with a cruiserweight. So I was quite shocked at that. But, you know, listen, he's a good fighter and he's doing his thing. Do I think it'll make for a good fight? I think that'll make for a very messy fight. Potentially very boring and dull fight with the way Cunningham fights. It's not going to set the world alight. I mean, David Price and Tony Thompson is a far better fight than Tyson Fury and Steve Cunningham, honestly, if you ask me. If you ask me my opinion that way, but at the end of the day, it's a fight. How it can be any kind of world title eliminator for a heavyweight title, I don't know, because the guy's a cruiserweight. So, you know, time will tell.
Prize fight this weekend. Obviously, your fellow Scouser Tom Stalker makes his professional debut. So obviously, you know, he's come to Matchroom as well. He's fighting out of Liverpool, which was a bit of a surprise for his first pro fight. But he's sold a lot of tickets, I understand. So this is going to be the start of an exciting journey for Tom Stalker.
Oh, listen, the kid's got 6 coach loads going up to London to watch on his pro debut, and considering that, you know, the city's biggest fighter is fighting in Liverpool on that day, and he's still got 6 coach loads going of fans. It is a testament to how, you know, much Tom Stoker's grown as a fighter and as a you know, a scouser on the circuit, on the scene. You know, listen, he's a top talent. I've sat down with Tom for hours on end, and we're always on the phone to each other. I speak to him, anything he ever needs or wants to know, he phones me, and I'll help him as best as I can. He's a dedicated kid, mate, who's going to do good things in the sport. He really is. You know, he wasn't Team GB captain for nothing, and he's got a very bright future ahead of him.
And just finally on that, obviously Audley Harrison again returns to the ring. What is your thoughts on this? I mean, personally, I just think, you know, listen, it's not really for anyone to say apart from Audley whether he wants to continue fighting or not, you know, and he becomes the most talked about thing in prize fight again because of his return again. So what do you think about that?
Do you know what? I'm a fan of Audley Harrison, mate. I really like Audley. I've known Audley for many, many years. He's a good guy, and he really is a good guy, mate. And listen, he believes in himself. And sometimes that's the hardest part for fighters, to really believe in themselves. Audley believes in himself. So who am I or who anybody else to tell him when to quit or when to not do it? He brings excitement. He brings fans who they'll pay for two things, mate, either to see him get his head knocked off or to see him knock someone's head off. So, you know, people will want to see Audley Harrison. Make no, you know, qualms about it. They will tune in on Saturday night to see Audley Harrison. Make no mistake, because out of all them names, and there's some great names in there, Martin Logan's a good fighter, good solid pro, but make no mistake about it, people are tuning in on Saturday night to watch Audley Harrison in prize fighter. It's as simple as that, mate, and that's good for boxing. So, you know, Audley's a good guy. I hope he stays safe and well. And, you know, I hope he does well. I like Martin Logan too, but, you know, I've known Audley a long, long time, mate. And like I say, amateur boxing in this country has got an awful lot to be thankful for towards Audley Harrison, because he's the guy who created the lottery funding for those guys, myself included. I was a lottery funded GP fighter, and it was the likes of Audley Harrison who made that available for us to have that GP funding, to support our families, to go and travel the world, represent our country. It was down to Audley Harrison, nobody else. So, you know, if anything else, I'm very grateful for, you know, the platform that he gave all of us fighters, and all the fighters who've been on that GP squad should also be very grateful for what he's done for us too.
Okay, Tony. What are you doing, Tony? Just away from boxing now. What's your plan between now and the time you go to bed?
Well, what I'm doing right now, I'm actually sitting here watching Liverpool football go against Zenit St. Petersburg on the telly. That's what I'm doing right now. My little boys have just been put to bed by my missus. Listen, I'm a normal fella, mate, who does normal things. I sit down, I watch a bit of telly when I can. I'll be dropping off in the next half an hour, 40 minutes. I'm tired, mate. I've trained 3 times today. It's just another day, mate. As I say, people say to me all the time, listen, what a boxing camp's about, what's training camp, what you do in training. I train day after day, and that lasts for week after week, month after month, and that's training camp, and the intensity just gets worse and worse with every day that passes. The intensity level gets stepped up. So at the moment, mate, I'm tired. It's just I'm not a machine, I'm not inhuman, I'm the same as everybody else. So when people see me sometimes and I'm out in my housing, they must think, he looks like a grump. I'm not a grump, I'm just tired when I'm in camp. When I'm out of camp, I seem like a kid who's got tons of energy, but when I'm in camp, I just want to be left alone and just go through the pain and do what needs doing, mate.
Alright, well listen, Tony, thank you for talking to iPhone. Do you like that title, iPhone London? I thought of that myself.
It makes a really good, I wouldn't say change, because I really like to say an iPhone London, always tune into iPhone London, but now that we're on the phone, and I don't get to see it as much as I'd like to, so, you know, I think we can pick up where we left off quite more often. This iPhone London. So
yeah, no, this is just a new...
That's not a bad gimmick, son.
No, it's just a new thing, just to really target for people that sort of don't live where I live, and we can't always, like I said to you, I probably won't see you now until the final week of the fight. So
nobody lives where you live. The only people that live where you live is people like Kung Fu Panda, people like Simba from the Lion. You live in a land of opportunity. You live in a place where nobody else is from or where they live.
Listen,
you come from a special place, son. Paul, and that's what I'm going to call you. You are the Kung Fu Panda. You are Paul.
Alright, listen, you still owe me a night out here, by the way, as well, because I've been to Liverpool many a times.
Listen, without doubt, I'm telling you, I'm going to have to try that booze of yours as well. I forget what it's called now, but it's definitely...
The Sugar Hut! The Sugar Hut!
That's it, the Sugar Hut. Okay.
Alright.
We'll do it, definitely, and I'll hold you to your word. We'll have a bevy at your boozer, your local boozer.
Alright, it's not my local, but it's near enough. It's near enough. Alright, well listen, Tony, thanks for talking to us. Good luck with the rest of your training camp, and I will see you, like I said, the week of the fight probably. I'll see you.
Definitely, man. We'll catch up then.
Alright, okay, that's Tony. Thank you very much. That's Tony Bellew here on iPhone London. Thank you very much.